on, guys? JNC Radio here, bringing you our 2019 WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view review and recap.
The last pay-per-view of the decade.
Yes, not only of the year, but of the decade. It is the final pay-per-view of 2019, but it is the final pay-per-view of the 2010s.
It's amazing how fast time flies.
Yeah, it really is.
This started actually 10 years ago. Actually, 2009. It's 10-year anniversary. It's, people don't even...
Yeah, well, it would be the 10-year anniversary. It's the 11th one, I believe, they've done as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I read that somewhere, but this would be... It started in 2009, and in some ways I'm actually kind of surprised it still lasted as long as it has.
Yeah. But TLC is probably one of the most iconic matches wrestling does, so...
Oh, absolutely.
We could probably understand why TLC is still around.
Yeah, in some ways. I'm not a big fan of the gimmick pay-per-views in terms of like when the name of the match is in the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Money in the Bank, for the most part, tends to be a good pay-per-view most of the time. But I always preferred it still at WrestleMania, just because it's like you could have a WrestleMania moment and a guy winning the match on top of that.
Right.
And like Hell in a Cell, don't like that. Really,
No.
Just because I think the Hell in a Cell match should be treated as something special. Now that it's a pay-per-view, it's like it has to happen, and they could just throw two guys in there like that.
Whoever.
Don't really need it.
Yeah.
I think Hell in a Cell is just meant for it's like a way to for a bitter rivalry, and I think it's a perfect way to end a rivalry as well. Which sometimes it does, but
other times
sometimes
it does not.
You could see that same match probably like 2 or 3 more times. But,
yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna kick it off.
We're gonna get right into it.
We're gonna kick on the beginning. Of course, what we just alluded to, Michael Cole would actually note that this would be the last pay-per-view of the decade.
Yeah, which I didn't think about, honestly.
Yeah, me neither. It was very shocking. And actually, it was kind of hard to take in a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. For me, it wasn't so much that. It was more so it was just like, it is a lot to take in, but it's kind of like, I don't know, just kind of put things into perspective. I never really thought of it that way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. But after that, the opening contest would be the ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
You had the champs, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E against the Revival.
This was a very good match in my opinion.
No, I actually like this a lot.
Kofi's amazing. Kofi doing Kofi things. That one ladder spot where Dash Wilder puts Big E through the table when he jumps off the top rope.
Oh, you mean he puts him through the ladder?
Yeah.
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 Because first they tried to put him through the ladder themselves, but then it didn't break. So then he would, I guess you'd say, do like a splash from the top, and then it would eventually give away.
Yeah.
But one of the spots that sticks out to me is where the Revival would go to hit Kofi with the ladder. Kofi would leap over and then slide through the bottom rope. He would go to dive to the outside, but he would be caught and then basically just pancaked with the ladder between that and the canvas.
Yeah, and then he would do it again later when they tried to do it on the outside. Mm-hmm. He would jump over the ladder and then find his way on the apron and springboard and crashing on the ladder with Dash and Scott.
Yeah, so I thought this was a pretty good ladder match.
Yeah, not bad for. It was actually New Day's second ever ladder match.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe they were in one.
2015 at TLC, believe it or not.
Yeah.
In 2015, with the Lucha Dragons and the Usos.
Wow, you even got the competitors down, got all those.
Yeah. And this would be the Revival's first ever ladder match. What they were saying.
Yeah. I don't think Big E was in the last one. I think it was Xavier and Kofi.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the New Day would retain their titles in this. I guess it. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I see, that's the thing. It's like when you see something like this, like New Day and Revival, like in a ladder match, it's like you automatically know it's going to be a good match. It's just I think the problem with it is it just feels like they just do it so often. It's just done so many times that they could really just take away from it. But I mean that's not to like discredit anyone involved in this, but
it's just
when it happens so many times, it's not special anymore.
It takes away the X factor, you know.
Yeah, but this would be a pretty good ladder match. I'd go ahead and give it 3.5.
I would agree with him too.
All right. Then after that, we'd have the King Corbin interview with Kayla Braxton. This is something to put down.
Yeah, talking about his TLC match ending with Roman Reigns, saying he's going to embarrass him. And yeah, nothing really too exciting to stand out here. All right, moving on from Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Next, we would have what was next? Oh, we'd have the Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy match. To me, in terms of wrestling, this was by far the match of the night. I thought this was actually a really good match.
Yeah, good wrestling all around, hard hitting. Just an old school Smash Mouth wrestling match.
Yeah, a lot of hard strikes. Basically everything I'd expect it to be, but and more.
Yeah.
They gave these guys a fair amount of time. Once again, I don't really know where they're going with Aleister Black.
Or even Buddy Murphy for that matter.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect them to do much with him in particular, but at this point.
But again, these are two guys where I'm read that Paul Heyman are very high on, so you just never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we would go 3 3/4.
Yeah, and Aleister Black would, of course, pick up the victory. I mean, I thought that'd be pretty obvious. I mean, they did a couple near falls, but I still knew going into it, Black had to win.
Yeah.
But then we'd have just a quick Rusev backstage interview about his tables match and just everything that had gone on like for
months, and that we so care about.
Yeah, and then after that they would air a Royal Rumble commercial. Of course, Royal Rumble will be January 26th of 2020. That'll be the next time WWE has a pay-per-view event. Well, there will be NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2.
Yep.
That'll be January 12th, but yeah, same day as Hard to Kill for Impact. So
yeah, that's
big wrestling day for everyone, I guess you could say. Yeah, so the Royal Rumble is a show that even now I still like pop super hard for. I mean, I love it's one, to me maybe my favorite gimmick match of all time. It's one that's like stood for like over 30 years.
yeah.
It's iconic, and it can still make careers. It can further elevate guys and just do wonders.
Yeah, for the better, or even sometimes for the worse. But
yeah, it has been. But
at the end of the day, when done right, it's probably one of the greatest matches you probably ever watch.
I have no doubt, and yeah, I still get into that even to this day.
Yeah.
The next we'd have the
Oh jeez.
We'd have the Raw Tag Team titles on the line, but first the Viking Raiders would come down, cut a quick little promo, just calling anyone out from the back. Then I guess the OC would answer. Then we'd have this match,
Which wasn't bad. Like
no, it wasn't bad, but there's a couple things that killed it for me. Actually, a few things. One, I thought the commentary throughout this was horrendous.
oh jeez, when you get me started. Well, yeah, because they're trying to promote KFC.
Well, there was that. But, I mean, there was a lot of like silly lines in between, and like they had these people sitting at ringside who I guess won this contest, so they're eating KFC. All this match is going on ringside. Personally, I don't know how other people feel. Some people would probably take no shame in this, but I, on one hand, would not want to like be sitting ringside and like having cameras on me like periodically and like while I'm eating. I mean, I would not like that. But whatever floats people's boat. I mean, some people don't mind it, and you're like, oh, it's a contest. Oh, I'll be on a pay-per-view. Some people view it different ways, but I personally as one would not like that.
But at the end of the day, this is where rules get thrown out the window.
This is what killed it.
Yeah, rules get thrown out the window when the Viking Raiders, I think Eric was bailing the OC on the outside. But, yeah, was it? Yeah, it was Eric.
Yeah, then Ivar would do a dive to the outside. Well, I think they may have just fought him off or whatever. Then like Ivar, he did a dive to the outside. The referee was doing a count.
Never restarted the count.
No, and whenever a wrestler dives to the outside, that is supposed to
Reset
restart
the
the count.
Nope, not in this case.
Not in this case. I don't know what the hell happened, but
he proceeded to count the regular count, and this match would ended in no contest.
yeah, I believe it was a 7 count. Then he kept counting 8, and then they point out the referee's count as an 8, or it was either that or 9.
Yeah,
and then he counted 10, and we just looked at each other like, what? Like,
yeah, that was
since when was this ever like a thing?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, my rating, I gave it a 2. It was a good match up until the ending.
Yeah, I gave it 2.25. I mean, once again, it's not really a good rating, but I mean, it would have been
Better
a bit
rating.
higher. And that's the thing. I hate when finishes and stuff like just kill like a match as a whole. Like, not that it was like the greatest like match ever, but like
It was a good one. Like I was into it.
it was decent. Nothing. I had no complaints about it, but yeah, it's just sad when that one thing just kills the entire thing.
Yeah. All right. Now moving on, we have the first tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Oh boy, we had King Corbin and Roman Reigns. This has been another feud that I've just kind of basically just tuned out of. I mean, I was never really into it from the get-go, but I mean, as anything, I guess you try to give things a chance, or you try to, but it could be hard at times, but I try to give it a chance, because I mean, Corbin was coming off King of the Ring, so it's like, he had a great run in that tournament, as I always point out, and Roman Reigns, it's been an interesting year, to say the least, for him. It's been his...
It hasn't been a Roman Reigns type of year.
yeah, I mean, for good and bad, I mean, I guess good in terms of like, he's done some things, like he's had a few decent matches, but nothing too notable, I guess. I mean,
I think the only accomplishment that was the SmackDown winning the SmackDown men's team winning Survivor Series and beating Drew McIntyre twice.
I guess, but the only problem with that is it's like, well, the Survivor Series thing, for one, it's like, once again, it's like, yeah, you won that for whatever, but it's like, what even comes of that, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Because see, I wish there's a stip. Like we're past Survivor Series now. Like, I really wish they just do something with that, where it's like whoever wins this, like, gets the main event of WrestleMania, or gets like the brand gets the number 30 spot in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Just something. I just don't get it sometimes.
Yeah, but then again, can you list any other good things that Roman Reigns has done?
It's had some solid matches.
Yeah,
just nothing notable.
Yeah.
But some people may like that in a way, because it takes him away from like the world title, and like, it allows him to do other things. But unfortunately, he's not like he's being placed like in situations like this. And yeah, we'll get into the match. So Corbin would make his usual entrance down to the ring. Then Roman would go up. He'd be up at the entranceway, get his pyro, and then this guess Corbin security or whatever, they try to
Ambush him
off the jump, and he fights them all off, or he fights like half of them off.
The other ones are scared shitless.
Yeah, so then they would start brawling through the crowd to start this match. Then they'd make their way back down to the ring area, and then the match would really get going.
It was very slow, and
yeah,
not much.
It went on forever too.
Not much action. Not much like weapon use.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a tables, ladders, and chairs match. You would think.
They didn't really use too much stuff, honestly.
No, not at all.
And yeah, so there later on in this match, Roman would he'd be charging around the ringside area, and it looked like he was about to what was he doing again? He wasn't going for a drive-by, I know that.
Was it? No, he was gonna spear.
Oh yeah, he was just gonna spear.
He was gonna spear Corbin through the barricade, but then Dolph Ziggler comes out of nowhere.
Super kicks.
Which Michael Cole, before this match started, noted that Baron Corbin was most likely going to be alone.
Yeah, because I guess they said the table going off the ladder on SmackDown took him out, but it didn't.
I guess not. And then a few seconds later, the Revival would start coming down.
But before that, there's a couple other things.
Well,
first he tried to get the timekeeper to move out of the ring and out of the way. Then he just chucked them over the barrier, and then they both started to assault him. It looked like they were
getting ready to handcuff, doing the same thing they did to Roman Reigns. And
yeah, it's like, wow, it's that serious.
Yeah, he didn't move out of the way. I mean, geez.
Yeah,
but then
although that was not the actual timekeeper, because the timekeeper would not take a bump like that.
No,
I highly doubt that.
No, then Roman Reigns did hit a drive-by. I think that's what.
Yeah.
And then, as I alluded to earlier, the Revival then would start charging the ring.
Oh, there's one more thing.
Oh, really? There's one more thing?
Oh, yeah. The rest of his security came back and tried to...
Oh, yeah. As he's whipping them with a cane, which...
Yeah, that's one other thing I'm going to point out. I mean, a weapon's a weapon, like in these situations, but I mean, it's supposed to be... I guess it's supposed to be dubbed the tables, ladders,